Well, hey, it's Jay with the State of Alberta update. That's my opener. Hey, it's Jay. Welcome to the absolute State of Alberta. Hey, before I even get into today's topic, which is decarnizing Alberta, and boy, am I happy to see that's happening. Remember, Carney said something about he was all for Alberta oil pipelines, but they would have to be decarbonized. Anyway, carbon is a major element to everything in the universe. He's talking about what CO2, which a lot of people still believe is the thing that comes out of the back of your car, and is plant food, but his idea was to decarbonize the oil, and then we'll talk about allowing Alberta to do its job and bring oil. Before that, guy, I just wanted to mention something. I thought I did a great little video concerned about, so this also as well goes out to any YouTubers or people that are doing social media, because there had been a little something going on with people Actually, there was a few sort of Alberta independence type channels that seemed to have disappeared. And then what I found was there was other channels that I follow. See, but now this could be because it's the summer. We're in the middle of summer. People are out doing things. But it's like their views had gone way down. And someone else had mentioned like a Facebook account maybe had been frozen or whatever they do. And then I thought of the word shadow banning, because I do know about that. Like sometimes your channel, maybe you say the word Alberta independence too many times. Something in the algorithm doesn't like it. And then people find that the channel is, it actually is still up, but somehow they do something that can kind of like hide. It sort of hides the channel from people finding it. I guess that's what happens. Yeah, so anyway, I did all that, and I tried to edit the video, and I kept uploading it. And every time I would upload it, it'd say, sorry, your video file is corrupted. We can't upload this. And I spent hours on it, and then I thought, but anyway, I just thought it was funny because I thought, well, oh no, YouTube won't even allow me to upload this video, But I think it was just a corrupt file. Guys, so Carney, Prime Minister Carney of Canada wants to decarbonize Alberta oil. And I'm loving what the Premier is doing, which is, and some of this came, by the way, out of the Alberta Next sort of campaign that they put forward. Now, some of you thought, oh no, this is not good. She's going to be doing things, something like what Kenny did with the referendum that would be too high for anyone to achieve. She's doing something to placate, can we say that? To placate and take the wind out of the sails. But I said you guys are wrong, because what happens is, first of all, no matter what goes on, if we are, and I believe this will happen, if Alberta is going to separate from Canadian Federation, then we have to start to decarnize, to defederalize, and we have to, okay, so either way, this has to happen. And if we did not meet, the majority in a referendum to separate from Canada, you would still have the population of Alberta still wants to defederalize. And so one of the things that made me so happy, I have been for, I don't know how long, it feels like 20 years. I have been telling people we have to decommission the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. They should be ended, closed. I'm trying to think I think something like this happened about 100 years ago. Do you know that in Toronto, which used to be a notorious city, a crime-ridden city, and the police and firemen and for some reason circus clowns would have battles in the streets, and they actually rebooted. You know, people use that word I don't think they had the word reboot, but they rebooted their whole entire city. And it was after this, you know, Toronto became known as Toronto the Good. That was the nickname, Toronto the Good. I hope nobody watching this thinks like, oh, I'm one of these anti-cop guys. Like the RCMP hassled me, and now I'm I fucking hate the cops, man, or whatever. And it's like nothing like that at all. But I know when I was younger, I knew something was wrong when the RCMP would not just simply take care of a certain bike gang, but instead would entertain them as rivals, like as if they were their rival hockey team. And I would see things like, of course, the guy on the motorcycle leaving that club has just done 50 things that you'd see an ordinary civilian who doesn't break laws all the time and not involved in criminal gangs, you know, take a U-turn and get a $300 fine, which for most working people wrecked them. $300 in those days ruined your month and screwed you into poverty for the month. It was very hard on you. And so they would get a severe punishment for taking a U-turn, but then the RCMP would spend all of their time entertaining. I think they all wanted to be undercover agents. That's what I think was going on. That's what the RCMP was becoming a fantasy league where everybody in it was trying to. First of all, I think what's happened now is they all want to be CSIS. Okay, so they don't really want to be RCMP. They're in the RCMP, but their plan is to become a Canadian Secret Service agent, and you know, guard the Prime Minister. And then I noticed too, I would constantly find out that the RCMP was just making for themselves like a what do they call it? Cosplay, role playing, where they were spending a tremendous amount of time and effort to be undercover in neo-Nazi, skinhead, racist gangs, which were not actually a threat to anyone. But obviously, I don't need to talk about. No, I do need to talk about the Coots. But what really turned me off, though, was when I realized that the RCMP was. Well, let's just say what it was, is like a de facto, if not on a piece of paper, had decided that they're a branch of Canadian government. So that's what they figured out, is they're going to be another branch, and you have your ministers of parliament, and you have, actually, you still have the Queen, the King, and you have the loyal opposition, and then you have the RCMP just decided to make themselves. And they did all of this while becoming, they just went full in on the woke thing. So they just started making sure to take opportunities away from specifically white Caucasian males and then give it to anyone else. And then all of a sudden, every chief in the whole RCMP is a woman because they're a woman, not because we went, oh man, she's like the best, you know. And so about that point, I just thought, this is not good. The RCMP is not a good thing. They don't need to be in Alberta. And now there's been kerfuffles online about this too. People going, oh, what are they trying to do? Oh, are they rejecting the, like, but actually, most of Canada, because most of Canada's population is Ontario and Quebec. Well, guess who has their own police force? The OPP. And Quebec has its own police force. They don't have RCMP police force. Although I think they actually do operate there in some limited existence in there. But then who else? There's lots of cities don't have. Surrey, BC, and Vancouver, BC, they have their own police force. Calgary has its own police force. Edmonton. Anyway, I'm not trying to do a count through here, but to say there's nothing unusual about a province not having the RCMP as its police force. But yes, it is time for them to go. They are. So what I would say, and I think Premier Smith has said this and other people too, it's time to decommission them. And of course, if there is a member of the RCMP who then wants to apply to the Alberta Provincial Police, then do so. Then you can quit the RCMP. They give you a $700,000 payout if you quit. God, if somebody ever went into the expense of the RCMP versus what they actually accomplish. Oh, man. Yeah. Anyway, you could do that. And then if you want to stay with the RCMP, that's great. I suppose you can enjoy Manitoba all you want. So guys, anyway, that was I'm so excited to see this. And I think what we're talking about, okay, is I would love people in Alberta to keep in mind the decarny. He wants us to decarbonize. We're going to decarnize. But no, it's time to, no matter what happens, okay? It doesn't matter whether an independence or not, or next year, or we have to defederalize Alberta as much as possible, and it should be in all corners. I just caught one of Corey's videos where he was saying something I never thought about. I had just never even crossed my mind because I have a TD. I bank through TD. Oh, God, Toronto Dominion. Toronto, of all places. But anyway, he's made the point. These are Eastern banks. They also, by the way, have, over the years, established themselves as a branch of Canadian government. RBC, TD, what's the Bank of Nova Scotia? They have made themselves, like the RCMP did, a kind of unofficial de facto branch of the Canadian federal government. They have been. We are back. We're back to where. What was it? It was a lawyer for one of the. Was she from the Freedom Convoy? She was a lawyer for one of the Freedom Convoy people, if I got that right. And what was it? The RBC, the Royal Bank of Canada, told her, "We don't want your business. We don't want you as a customer." And this making a big flashback of horror to a lot of people's minds when they were freezing people's bank accounts for protesting in Ottawa. Well, anyway, all of this to say, it occurred to me that, I guess you could, if you're an Alberta independence person, consider moving to a local, community bank, community savings bank. If I ever got smart enough to put things in front of me, I would then not have to rely on my stupid memory to name all of the community credit savings banks. So I can't. You guys go look for them? Okay, you go look for them. I'm sure everybody actually has one or knows what they are. So, yeah, but that's a great point too, isn't it? We can defederalize, de-Easternize Alberta, but that's something Alberta people can do. Where you can, as much as you can, consider moving your banking out of those Eastern banks. And guys, thanks very much. I really hope this file doesn't come up as corrupted. I don't know what I did. You know, sometimes I'm just like semi-good at making videos and uploading them, but I'm just not a pro. So anyway, guys, that was it. I want to encourage everybody to continue meeting up with this all summer. People have been meeting up, and I think it's a great thing. We're starting to, sort of get a plan together. I think the Alberta Next project is good. It's a good thing because it is about defederalizing. And from there, guys, I'll see you in the next video, okay? Take it easy, everybody.